Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the week 2 recap. JC and Noah didn't play their game, but everyone else did, so fuck it. We'll just have a longer recap next week. First game of the week was Biff versus Tanner. You know, if Biff's other Pokemon. Oh, I forgot my camera's in the wrong spot. Yeah, as you can see, if Biff's Pokemon literally did anything besides the slacking, he would have won. But truly a slacking diff. But yeah, Biff played really bad around, around the Naganadel. Kinda let it just Beast Boost all over him. And yeah, it's a rough one, but for Tanner, they're coming off a loss week 1. Made questionable trades, but as usual, they worked out somehow. So for Tanner, it's looking good for him. It's building up that momentum again, getting a divisional win, an important one. For Biff, you did a lot of good, but you know where you went wrong. So I think this is a fine loss, you know? A game you probably should have won, but you know now. Tanner is gonna... I mean, not even Tanner. Everyone in the league is gonna be scared of slacking going forward, so... If anything, this is good for your season. Just show slacking. Obviously, you want to get the win, but showing everyone the power of slacking, the kind of threat that he is gonna be good. So, for Biff, you know... Again, you know where you went wrong, so since you know where you went wrong, not a whole lot you gotta be worried about. For Tanner, I guess just keep hitting moves in on Naganadel and you'll do good, I guess. Yeah. Next game was Josh versus Croc. My boy Croc. Oh, dude, so close, man. So close. I mean... the paras were rough. I am of the belief that Croc is the only person I think. Oh shit! Why is this not? Sorry if I've been blowing your ears out this video. I didn't know my audio completely reset. But Croc is the only one I give my blessing to make trades because having Screamtail as your weather setter is terrible. It is so bad. It gets taken advantage of so easily. Not getting the immediate weather. And then it also makes it so Screamtail is forced to come. And 2, you can just shut it down. You can just kill it. And that's really bad. I don't know. Obviously, Torkoal got sniped from him. But, if you're going to get a weather setter, maybe a prankster user so you don't have to worry about anything. Maybe I don't know. Just I think he should make some trades, get some immediate weather because God, this team needs it. And even then, he's making these games close. Obviously, week 1 against me, not as close, but it's still a good game. This game, a couple pairs go differently. Slowking doesn't wake up on turn 2 at the end of game 1. I mean, this set could very easily be a 2-0 for Croc, and we're not talking about trades as much, but this game was very close. Spec Slowking was actually a super good bring. The Cotton Down Eldegoss carrying Josh's team right now. I mean, that is really cool tech. Obviously, as the weeks progress, can't be using it as much because it's going to be one of those things where people just start prepping for. But I think for now, first 2 weeks, it's done a lot of good for Josh. Week 1 couldn't quite pull out the dub against JC, but week 2 against Croc in a close set, a divisional game. Very good showing. And the Gen 8 Galar boys with 9 kills. That you'll love to see it. But both these coaches had good showing. Nothing to be sad about from either of them. Our next game, Mnez versus Chase. On paper, and you look at the kills, you're like, how did this go to game 3? But Chase had a very, very good exit drill sweep in game 2. But after that, Mnes kind of knew that he fucked up. He even, I think in his video, I think he actually could have won if he just cycled Intimidates with Electric, so Volcanion could eat some. So, you know, it could have been a 2-0, but Chase played well, but Volcanion Lycanroc just kind of ate him alive. I think Mnes was banded Lycanroc, which is kind of troll in my opinion in this game, because like if you band yourself into a rock move, T-Tar can come out. If you band yourself into a fighting move, the Enamorous can come out. So I didn't quite agree with that, but went big regardless. He was making the predictions. Kieran Black hitting a Focus Blast and a Blizzard to start off the game was incredible. Honestly, I don't even blame Chase for going in on T-Tar against the Kieran, because he already hit a Blizzard, so he ain't hitting a Focus Blast. That's just how I see it, so can't be too mad against Chase, but he did prep it for the Vanillix quite well. Brought Brick Break on a couple mons. I think he had Defog on Silvally, but Mnes, after losing a big week 1, you know, regular season Mnes, man. He can't be going down 0-2 so early, but for Chase, rough game for you, but you showed some good. For Mnes, this is the game you need to reset the mental a bit, get back on track. So for both of these guys, just keep going at it. I think for Chase, I don't know. Chase has had a rough matchup. The Volcanion, I think if his Infernape set was a little bit different, it could have. This game goes a little differently, but we can get into that a little bit later. Me versus Preston. Yeah, just Gardevoir things, really. Game 1, I was scared to set up the substitute because I wasn't sure if... In my mind, he should always Seismic Toss on Blissey in front of Gardevoir because... 1, I trace your natural cure, so if I get parried, I can just switch out and it cures. And 2, it prevents the sub, which the second I got sub up in game 2, I just kind of like 5-0 swept them. But game 1, my boy Musashi, King Gambit, making his debut. And he put in the work, bro. I mean, King Gambit is just the stall breaker. Went crazy. Gardevoir put in a ton of, I mean, again, I literally said in my video the second I got behind the sub, this game's over. So, Gardevoir putting in the work. Glamora even one-shotting Conkeldurr or Terra Poison Sludge Wave, kind of crazy. But, yeah, the team did pretty good. Also, I said I was the wrong ability on Glim, but I finally remembered like a day or 2 after we played, I was like, why was I Corrosion? It was because I didn't want to give Conkeldurr the Guts boost off Toxic Debris. I wasn't sure if he's going to be Iron Fist or Guts. Always got to play it safe. So, yep, that is why I was Corrosion with no Toxic. But yeah, for Preston, your team is shit. Probably should make some trades. What trades you should make, I don't know, but you should make some. Curse versus B. The Peanut Gallery, we're kind of trolling them both, just kind of dogging them up and down because watching this game live, it felt weird. Like it didn't feel like a game these two coaches should be playing. Like it felt like they're both just not playing well. On a second review, after knowing like some of the sets that they both had, I don't think it was as bad as we were kind of dogging them for it in the call that night. It was me chasing Mnes. I don't think it was as bad as we were dogging them for, but still, just a weird game from all angles, I'll say. Just it felt very weird to watch. I don't know how else to describe it. The game just felt weird. Like B had Rocky Helmet on a Spit Def Registeel, and then he had leftovers on his Donphan, which was defensive. Which, why not swap them? Like, why not give your Donphan? Because if game 1 or 2, Lopunny hit triple axle on Donphan and hit Earthquake, but Low Punny lived because no Rocky helmet. But then Chris missed a triple axle and he still got the kill. Why not just put your Rocky helmet on your defensive mon, eat the triple axle, get the damage off, and then kill him with Earthquake? Regardless, also, Tornadus Therian being a Tailwind bot, just, if you're going to use it like that, drop it. I'm being dead serious. Like, Tornadus Therian does so much more than just click Tailwind, and if you're going to pin him into that role of just being a Tailwind bot, just drop him. He's not worth the tier 1 pick at that point. I think Mesprit was a really good bring. The Scarf mystical power was cool to see. Urshifu still did some things, but not the game we thought it would have, obviously. But Spectre, Low Punny, doing the thing. 9-1 on the week, kind of crazy. And a Low Punny, 4-2, just always gonna do things. Yeah. For V, made some trades. Well, I think they made his team better. I don't think he should have made him so early. Maybe I'm wrong there, I don't know, but I'm just not a big fan of making trades after 1 week. So yeah, just a good showing from both coaches, but B, you know, he's still trying to figure out some of these mons. Obviously, Registeel he's used before, but for everything else, he hasn't. So still, I guess, trying to figure him out, but prep goes slightly differently. Game becomes a little bit easier for you. Tabs versus Estador, Sal. Yeah. I remember I was helping Sal prep for this game, and initially he kept 6-0ing me because I didn't have Steelix, and then I brought Steelix with Iron Defense Body Press, and I 6-0'd him like 8 games in a row, and then I told him to bring the Body Press on his Melmetal, but bring Terra Flying. That way he can always Terra Flying in front of Steelix and beat it. And then I lost like every game after. I mean, the Acid Armor Melmetal is crazy. There was literally nothing that Tabs could do, because he could always Terra Flying to not be weak to the Mystical Fire from Mischievous, or whatever, Flutter. And yeah, Tabs always had to bring out Flutter just to get damage off on it, which, crazy. Game 2, Sal played pretty not good, I'll say. I mean, he still played good enough to win, but he led Ursaring, which in my opinion is really weird, because Ursaring is like your designated Mischievous switch in. I keep saying Mischievous. Whenever I see Fluttermane, I just see, I don't know, I'm brain dead, but he led Ursaring for some reason and like kind of sacked it early, which didn't make a lot of sense to me, because that is literally like the best Fluttermane check you can get. So yeah, that was a little weird. But besides that, Garchomp with the late game sweep with the sand, one-shotting a Steelix with the crit. Since Tabs didn't have Ice Fang, it didn't matter, but just kind of felt bad to watch. But I say Sal played not good in game 2, but it's because just how he played game 1, literally getting the 6-0. Maybe I'm taking too much credit away from Tabs. Tabs played really, really well game 2. Really shut down the Melmetal a lot. I mean, it literally came down to Garchomp, which maybe if he didn't bring the sand, he could have won. But again, goes to game 3, and that's a whole different hypothetical, which we're not in that world. So, Sal, very good performance. Melmetal putting in the work. And this is actually our last game of the week, because I said in the beginning of the video, Noah and JC have not played yet. So I guess we'll do that game whenever they play it. But Beedrill just putting in the work, bro. Beedrill is tied in kill leader with, I think, Melmetal and Spectre right now, which you have two very broken Pokemon next to each other, and you got the Mega B. Nick had a very, kind of dogged him in the last video. Very good showing. I think he prepped with Tanner, and it showed. Did a lot. Honestly, if Wu did not bring the Quick Feet Jolteon, I think Wu loses a set pretty handedly. But the Quick Feet Jolteon for the Scarflele and the Megala went very, very crazy. Which, KD wise didn't show that much, but in set had a lot of impact. Scarf Cyclozar knocking off Lele's Scarf every game. That was another big thing. Also getting the Shed Tails off for things like Darm and Sui and B. Just good. But yeah, the Body Press, Gudra, always a threat. Banded Landers going crazy. I think, obviously, Nick plays a couple turns better. Like, if he just clicks U-turn a little bit more on Landorus, or doesn't let Lele's Scarf get knocked off super easily, or just Scarf himself into Psyshock when the Woe Chen is still there. Makes a couple different plays. I think Nick wins this game. Obviously, we don't live in that world, but I think for Nick, pretty good game to like start building confidence back up in, especially after, you know, not polite comments in the last video, I'll say. But for Wu, good rebound game. Obviously a lot closer than you'd like it to be against Nick, but I think the way he played, you know, you even said it yourself, you probably should have lost that game. So still pulling out the win in a game you should have lost. Good. Keeps you in the race of the division, because Nick, you know, usually not the strongest divisional opponent, but Wu leading the division right now because he won his game, and so did Chris, but he's a point higher, so Wu technically the divisional leader at the moment. And yeah, good game from both the coaches. So I guess now we will go into the actual power rankings. Oh god, who do I... So JC and Noah are last because they didn't play, so I can't rank them. Who do I put in last? God. I'll put Preston. I think Preston... I don't even think Preston played bad. Like, I really don't. Yeah, I don't even think Preston... Like, I think everyone actually played well this week. I almost want to put B as the worst for this week. But I don't... You know what I mean? But I think Preston... I think he played pretty well, considering the matchup. Game 1 was closer than I think most people thought it was going to be. But Game 2, just... He let me get the sub up, and that was kind of that. And for that alone, probably going to have to put him there. Power. Okay. Probably gonna have to put Preston there just because he let me get the sub up on him. In my mind, I mean, he said he, you know, it's one of those moves that you always gotta like, every Pokemon knows, so it's like hard to like kind of prep for, but yeah. 13. God. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these games are like actually close. It's kind of hard to like place one low. Like, dude, I can't even put tabs there. Like, I'll put Chase. Like, that's the thing. Like, this week was so close that I don't even, like, it's hard. It's hard. Alright, so let me go. Alright, so Chase, he said he had nothing to do with Volcanion, which I guess is sort of true. But his Infernape could have dealt with it if it had Stone Edge or Earthquake. He said he was a special Infernape, but the thing is, like, you don't need to be full special or full physical in something like Infernape. You can have the Hidden Power Ice for Gliscor. That was great. But why not be like Mach Punch or Vacuum Wave for like the Lycanroc? Or just Close Combat, because he can always, you know, Close Combat for the Vanillux and the Kyurem. Earthquake, Stone Edge for the Volcanion, and then maybe like U-Turn or something else. Like, literally, if you were Hidden Power Ice, Close Combat, Earthquake, those 3 moves, super effective against his whole team right there. Obviously, the Lycanroc without Speed Gen with the Manectric, but you can put on Agility as your last move or something. Maybe just U-Turn, maybe Scarf it. You know, there was things that you could have done differently in prep. I think the Infernape is one of the things that if you changed up the set a bit, you could have probably won, actually. So, for that alone, I'm probably going to have to put you lower. Next up, probably going to have to do B, bro. I mean, there's uncharacteristic from B to just not play that well. Again, the biggest one being the, in my opinion, the Torn. But besides that, Registeel having the Rocky Helmet, not the Don fan, that kind of felt weird. But other than that, I think he played well. But you know, just I think it's hard to like say this like a definitive worst team that played because like the skill is like you can see all these sets like this went to a game 3 and only a 2 differential, and B's like one of the lower coaches for this week, but if anything, it just goes to show how well people are playing this season. So, you know, if you see yourself lower than you'd like for a week, you just you just didn't have a good week that week. That's all. Next up, I think we got to do Biff. I think Biff, even though didn't take his opponent to a game 3 like he did, I think Biff probably should have won this set, and that's why I was very frustrated making that week 1 recap last week, because I really did feel like Biff won that set. He just played so bad against the Naganadel. Literally, if any of his Pokemon did literally anything other than slacking, he wins this set. So, yeah. For Biff, I think he played super well, and then brain turned off. So, I think for Biff, a good week, but I don't know. Just, I don't know. I guess that's all I can say. I don't know. I kind of want to put Tabs. Putting Tabs this high kind of feels bad. I'm gonna put Tabs here. Literally. All right, I'll do this. This feels weird because Tabs got 6-0'd. It's like maybe he's the worst coach of the week, but I think just for the sole reason of how close he made game 2, I kind of had to put him up a little bit higher. Wanted to put him a little bit higher even, but just for the sole reason that he did get 6-0'd. Not. Let me do this. Biff. Nick. Alright, so. Tabs, you got 6-0'd, but game 2 you really brought it back. That's why I have you up so high. Nick, you played pretty well, but game 3, you just kind of trolled your brains out. You just spammed Dragon Tail Milotic and just let it die. I don't know. I think the first 2 games you played extremely well, made them super competitive, but game 3 kind of turned your brain off a little bit. Biff, again, very close to winning, but just fell a little bit short. And then I guess for the last of the losers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, for last of the losers, I'll put Croc just because he made a set super competitive. Couple pairs go differently, he wins a set. A couple moves go differently, he wins a set. So easily, Croc is the best of these. I kind of want to say something, but I don't know if that's disrespectful or not. Fuck it, I'll say I think Croc played better than Tanner played. I think Croc played a lot better than a couple of the people that won. I think Croc played better than... That's the thing. Do you put someone that lost over someone that won? You know what I mean? Because I don't even think Tanner played that well. Not to take anything away from Tanner, but like, I think just Biff played bad. You know what I mean? Like, Tanner played so good week 1 and fell a little bit short. Just, you know, Tinglu things. But this week, like, I don't even think he played that well. I just think he just clicked Sludge Wave and just Biff turned his brain off. I don't know. But regardless, I'll put Tanner here just because I don't think he played well. I just think his opponent played bad. And again, that's not to say anything against Tanner. If anything, it's more to say against Biff. He just didn't show up the way I thought he would. Next up, I'll put Josh. I think Josh had a good week, but again, set was very close, but he clutched it out, and that's really all that matters. So, yeah. Next up, I'll put Chris. I think, again, his set very close. Again, talked about it earlier, kind of weird to watch, but he did win, which is kind of all that matters. Actually, I gotta do this. I gotta bump everyone up by 1. That's what I have here. Oh god, what I have there? Tanner, Josh. First. I gotta bump everyone up one and put Wu as 7 because having a game that close against Nick, my god. My god. That's all I'm saying. Chris at 4. Good game. Again, kind of weird watching in the moment, but just still came out the dub, popped off with Spectria. That's all you can ask. I would put Enlez at 2, but I think for the sole reason that he threw game 2 against Chase, I'm gonna put him 3. If he won game 2, I'd probably put him at number 2, but threw away game when he could have won, so gotta put him at 3. I'll put myself at number 2 because I think I had a very good game against Preston. Kind of knew my win count and played around it well. Number 1, I'll put Sal. Sal had a very good week against Tabs. 6-0ing is just, doesn't come by that often unless you're Woo in Season 3. 6-0ing everyone, but Sal had a very good game. Obviously, game 2 a lot closer, but just for the sole reason that he did get the 6-0. And even game 2, I say he played a little weird and not as good in game 2, but I think the better term is just, I don't know. It's not even reckless, because it's not even like he was playing for anything. But he did play better, or he played worse than game 1, but he didn't play bad enough to ever be in a position. I would say some points he's in a position to lose, but still won the game regardless. I think Sal definitely had the best performance in week 1. But yeah, these are the power rankings of week 2. Obviously, El Bozo if mad, but this is kind of how I feel. Even then, these bottom 3 teams, I don't even think they played terrible. I just think that it's just one of those things, man. It's just one of those things. But yeah, that is that. Gonna do the predictions for week 3 now, and yeah. So I'm gonna get on out of here. Oh, did I open my team builder at all this video? Ooh, shit. If I did, that's not good. Not good. I play Nick tomorrow. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see y'all later. I guess in 5 minutes.